Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first Aardvark live stream. So today we're going to be taking a look at our Aardvark marketing website. It was brought to my attention that there are some accessibility issues that are on that site, and we're going to be taking a look at those today and getting them fixed. So let me show you what we are doing. And also let's get rid of this message. We've already started. All right. Okay. Here's my screen. And this is the website that we are going to be working on today. Our marketing website for our accessibility application, Aardvark. And this website has been live for several months, and we did do an accessibility audit on it at the time that we very first launched it. But like most marketing websites, we make changes to it all the time. Little adjustments, adding new content, adding new features, and things like that. And it looks like we have unfortunately not kept up with ensuring that all the new things that we add are accessible. So we're going to go ahead and do a little testing, and we're going to get some of those things fixed. All right, so the first issue that we need to tackle today, I already know about, is we have almost a keyboard trap. So you can see right now I have just tabbed into the page and I have a skip to contact support button. And what's happening is even if I don't hit the enter key to say that I want to go to contact support, when I hit the tab key to keep moving through the page, you can see focus just moved down to the support key, which then makes it seem like I can't get to the rest of the page because that is the last item on the page. And so when I hit tab again, it puts me right up at the top of the browser. Now, if I move focus back to that help button with shift tab, and then I can shift tab backward through the whole page. So we don't actually have a true keyboard trap because we can get to things, but it is very off-putting and very confusing. So let's see if we can't figure out what is causing that bizarre behavior to happen. All right, so I've got the code of our website right here. It is a WordPress website. That way our marketing team can take care of it without developers having to jump in all the time and help write code. And I think because it is a WordPress website and we are using a child theme, the first thing I'm going to check is if we have a header.php in the child theme. So we're going to WP content into themes, and here's our theme. And it is a very simple little child theme, and there is no header.php. Okay, so we have to figure out how is that skip to help link getting onto the page. So let's take a look in functions.php, which might have some clues for us. Okay, so we're just enqueuing some CSS and defining some widget areas and enqueuing some JavaScripts. But okay, we do have a theme modifications here in the includes folder. Here it is. So we found it. So here is our skip to contact support link. And everything looks okay here. It's a link. It has an ID. It has a class. It's hidden by default. We saw that, and then it'll be visible when screen reader text, when that class has focus. It's pointing to our beacon container. So that little help button on our site is a Help Scout beacon. And it says contact support. So there's nothing really here that looks out of place. So there must be some JavaScript that is interfering here. So let's go ahead and take a look in our JavaScript. Start here, and I'm just going to go to the bottom of the file and figure out what's being called when the page loads. All right, our copying code, fitting our videos, sticky header, thank you. Aha, init skip link. That looks suspicious, and it's actually right here. Okay, so let's see what this is doing. We are getting our link, and that is the ID that we just saw assigned to it. And on key down, okay, there's the problem. If you didn't spot it, we are listening for a key down event on that skip link. Any key down event, we're not checking to see which key is getting pressed, which is why when we're hitting the tab key, it is going ahead. This code is executing and it's actually running this code. Now, you might wonder why we have this extra code here, and I can tell you already, it's because this looks like just a little link added to our site, but it is actually an iframe that is embedded on the site from Help Scout, and our button is inside of it. And so in order to move focus to it, we do need a little bit of extra JavaScript to actually get focus to that iframe and then to an element inside that iframe so that it can work. But we don't want to do it every time someone presses a key. We only want to do it if somebody presses the enter key. So this shouldn't be too hard to fix. We just need to put a conditional. So if E, oh, okay, I'm not in PHP. All right, if E.key equals enter, then we will want to go ahead and do this code. Otherwise, we will not. Okay, we can save that. And this is a local copy of the site that I'm working on here. So let's do a hard refresh and test and see if that fixed the issue. Okay, here we are. We're on the button. Yay. So now we can get past that. We fixed that little issue. And let's just double check and make sure that it works. So if I hit the enter key, it is not working. Okay, it is not moving focus over here, which is funny because that part was working before. All right, let's see if we can figure out what's going on there. It's preventing default and handling the skip link. Kind of seemed like it wasn't preventing default though, didn't it? Let's see what we can do here. All right, we'll console.log that and we'll see what's happening. Open up our console. Let's take a look. Clear it out. And let's put focus back up here. Oh, now I'm jumping to my console. All right, let's try this a different way. Okay, so, aha, did I not? Does it need a capital E? Is that the problem? Let's try that again. Okay. Sorry for all that scrolling. Okay, let's try that one more time. There we go. Enter key is pressed and focus is moved over here. Okay, so we just needed a capital E there. All right, so that is one issue fixed. We need to remove our debugging code because we don't want that to be on the live site. And we will check that into Git. All right. Oh yeah, I was going to make a new branch. So let's make a new branch for accessibility fixes. Okay. Oh yeah, bring my changes to my branch. We'll go ahead and publish it. And we'll say fix skip to help link. All right. All right, we'll push that. Okay, fixed one already. All right, let's go ahead and we can start working down through a list of some other potential issues so long as we're here. Let's go ahead and check our page title. Make sure that that's all good. Title, Aardvark, fastest way to perform accessibility audits. So that looks pretty good. That's a good description of what our page is all about. And let's go ahead and check our image alt text. Okay, we got this image here. Looks like that is completely missing an alt attribute. Okay, so we need to get that one fixed. Let me go ahead and go in here and see if there's already an existing issue for this. So this is our platform, Aardvark, and I'm interested in images marked, images missing an alt attribute. There are 6 active instances of that. Okay, and the partners. So those are all on the same page. And it doesn't seem to be a link. Okay, oof, we've got 232 active instances of images that are marked so they are ignored by assistive technology. That is quite a lot. Let's go ahead and go to visual mode. See what we have happening on our home page here. Actually, is this an issue? Image is marked, so it is ignored by assistive technology. There it is. Okay. That we would probably want to add something in there. And I'm going to mostly focus on code changes today. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark up this issue here and get that assigned to Natalie, which is not me. There's another Natalie, my podcast co-host, Natalie. So that we could take a look at that and make sure that we get that fixed. All right. And then we've got this one to be ignored by assistive technology. That one I don't think is actually an informational image. I do think that one does feel very much like a decorative image. So I think that one is probably okay. And I think it's probably calling out all of these, but these all feel quite decorative. It looks like there's an issue on our help button here. Oh, yes, that our iframe requires a non-empty title. I'm not sure that we actually have control over the title of the iframe because of that coming from Help Scout, but we could definitely take a look at that. My image has alt text, it looks like. Okay, and then these are all marked as decorative images, it looks like. These do feel a little more communicative than maybe some of the others that were on the page. So we might consider adding alt text to those. And there's another one. Okay, so it looks like I've already assigned the issue to Natalie, who does a lot of the changes on our marketing website. So we'll review those and see if there are any images that might need some other alt text. Let's go ahead and take a look at headings. All right, so ideally, I think this should be our H1 for the page, and it looks like it is. And then that should probably be an H2, and it is. Okay, H2 again. All good. That should probably be an H3. We're good there, good there, good, and good. All right, that should probably, oops. Oh, is this part of the image? Oh, looks like it might be. Oh, no. Oh, I think we have the graphic on top of the image. Okay, let's see. Can I find, oh, looks like it might be in here. Well, that's a paragraph. So is this one the heading? Oh yeah, H2. There we go. Okay. Like typical outdated enterprise tool. Okay. So, okay, I was wondering about this. If these were all marked up as H3s, and they are, which makes them technically nested under this section here, since this is an H2. And then it's saying, basically programmatically, we're saying that these sections here are little subsections under that section. Which I think that actually makes sense. Like reviewing the actual content that's here, I know visually they look like two separate sections, but it does make sense that these would be subheadings in that section. Let's double check this one. Should be an H2. Okay. H2. Oh, these should be H3. I almost missed those. Let's double check. Yes, 3. 3. 3. Okay. Another 2. Another 2. These should be 3s. 3. 3. Okay. And this one should be a 2. Okay, good. A 2. 2. These should be 3s. Now, these could probably be not headings here because there's no content that follows them, right? They're not heading up a paragraph or something that comes after. So those could probably just be paragraphs. So I might make a little issue to get that taken care of. So let's go ahead and go in there. And while we wait for that to load up, I'll go ahead and finish checking this. So H2, and then these are, oh, these are using details and summary. Okay. And then I imagine that's an H2. Oh, an H1. Interesting. We should probably get that fixed. That should probably be an H2. Okay, so let's go over here. And okay, here is the place. Yes, okay. So let's go ahead and say record an issue. And I'm going to highlight this H3. And let's see, heading. Okay, let's go ahead and say we're not nesting them correctly. That's our closest issue. We are going to be adding the ability to add custom issues really soon, so you'll be able to do that. And okay, let me go ahead and put a note in here and just say, since these are not heading up sections of content, they should probably just, oops, have to spell it correctly, just be paragraphs. Okay, and submit. And okay, and then I have to do that pricing one. Okay, so there's that one. Let me go ahead and assign that to Natalie. There's me. That's the other Natalie. All right. Okay, and then this is an H1. So let's go ahead and record an issue there. H1, and that is definitely a misnested heading. Heading order is semantically incorrect. Okay. So it's using an H1, but is a subsection of the home page. Should be an H2. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and assign that one out. Okay, let's go back. Actually, we could just open up the browser console and do some testing right here. So I don't have to flip back and forth. Oh, I do have to turn off my issues before I can do that. Okay. So that is an H3. So it looks like we're skipping from an H1 to an H3. So that's okay. We got that covered. Let's try out this one, H2, and then we're in the footer. And are these by chance actual headers? They are. They're H3s, which means we should have, we should have an H2 setting off the footer from the rest of the page. So let me go ahead and record an issue for that. We'll just do it on this one. Heading, let's see. Let's say that one. And just say footer section should be started with an H2. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and get that assigned. To Natalie. Okay. All right, so that's our headings on our home page. So the next thing that we're going to check is any instances where we've got issues with contrast ratio. So let me go ahead and go back to the dashboard. And our automated checkers should be able to find those. So let me filter to just the home page. And it looks like we've got no contrast issues. But I think maybe we should just do a quick visual check on that to make sure that that's actually correct. Okay, so everything I see here is looking good. That all looks good. Very high contrast. I don't see any potential issues. Still looking good. Just take a peek into some of these. And those all look good. And everything here looks good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's correct. There are no color contrast issues. All right. And oops, I didn't mean to click off the home page there. Let me go back. All right. And then we're going to check zooming text to 200%, which I was already zoomed in a little bit. So you make sure it was enough for you to see on the stream. So now we're just going to go down the page and make sure, trying to scroll left to right, and I don't have any left to right scrolling. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. We're just going to look for anything that's overlapping, anything that's getting cut off, any sections of the page where we might have to scroll horizontally, any place where things are looking a little funky or weird or just out of place, but this is all actually looking pretty good. I don't see anything overlapping. This still all looks good. We'll test that with a keyboard in just a minute. And that all looks good. Okay. Yeah, so I think the zoomed in text is all right. I'm going to zoom back out. I'll keep it at about 150, I think, for the live stream. All right, now we're going to do keyboard. So that was that keyboard issue that we fixed at the very beginning of the stream, which now we have fixed that. We can get past it. So let's see what happens as we try to get through the rest of the page. So we already tested this. We can skip to contact support. So I'm just going to move my cursor back to the top of the page. All right, skip to content. Let's go ahead and make sure that works. It certainly appears that it did. Yes, I move focus into that box. Okay, let's go back. And okay, we're going to check to make sure that we can always see where focus is on the page, that's really obvious. So you can see that the Aardvark logo has a blue ring around it now. When I tab off of it, that disappears. So it's easy for me to see that that's where the focus is. So that's one thing I'm looking for. I am also looking to make sure that whatever appears for focus has enough contrast with what's going on around it, that it's still highly visible. And then I'm also checking to make sure that I can work all of the interactive components on the page, that everything works using just the keyboard. Okay, so let's keep going through the page. So I do notice that we have a drop-down menu here. So let's go ahead and make sure we can open it. And it looks like we can. Now, my mouse is messing us up a little bit. So let me move that up here. Okay. And let me click there first. All right, I moved my mouse up there so it's not interfering. Okay, so I can hit either the space bar or the enter key to open the drop-down menu. So that's great. It looks like the arrow keys don't work to navigate there, which is probably something we should look at. But this looks like an issue. So there is, I can see clearly which element in the nav has focus, but I can barely read it. There's a real contrast issue there. And I'm just going to move my mouse for a second. Oh, okay. So our focus style doesn't match our hover style. So when we put the mouse over an item, it has a dark blue background and it has white text. And I would generally probably expect that a focus style on that would be similar. Whoops, sorry. Okay. But it looks like our focus style is still black text with a very dark gray background. And I don't believe, I'll go jump into the code for a second and take a look, but I don't actually think that that's in the CSS for the site. I think that is actually like Elementor theme settings in WordPress itself. But let me take a quick look in here at our style.css and see what might be in here. Oh yeah, there's almost no CSS in here. Okay, so that looks like it is definitely an Elementor configuration issue. So let me jump back over here to visual mode and we'll record another issue for that to get that fixed. All right, record an issue. And I will not be able to, I don't think, actually, let's try this out. Can I get that so that it is on that child element? Well, let's turn off record an issue here. Can I not turn that off? Okay, let's cancel that. Okay, so there is an issue with Aardvark itself that we probably need to look at. Okay, so let me turn off the issues and see if I can open that submenu. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit clever here and see if I hover that. No. What if I hover this? No. Okay, so it looks like I won't be able to actually have this open to record an issue on the actual item, but that's okay. I can record it on the parent and I can leave notes on what the issue is. The issue is contrast. And we could just say it's that one. And our recommended solution, be ensuring that the contrast ratio is high enough. And I will just leave notes. So when tabbing through the main navigation without a mouse, the contrast ratio for the foreground background colors on submenu items is insufficient. Okay, it looks like when hovered with a mouse, the items are dark blue with white text. And we should apply those same styles when those submenu items get keyboard focus. Okay, create that issue. Okay, and I will go ahead and get that assigned to Natalie. Okay, it's Natalie's lucky day today. All right, let's go back over here and let's see what else we can find. Okay, so I can open and close that menu. Can I hit the escape key and close the menu? I can. Excellent. Anything that you can open, you should be able to hit the escape key to close it. So that's what I'm doing there. Oh yeah, I forgot. I got to move my mouse out of the way. All right, so we'll just make sure that escape key works there and open that and tab through the submenu. All looks good. Okay. All right, so I think there's just, one setting in Elementor that is going to fix all of those contrast issues. So we don't need to worry about recording separate issues on all of those. And we could just do a double check on a couple of these and make sure that they are taking me where I expect them to go. Let's try our 4 freelancers page. Yep, that works. Let's try the pricing. Yep, that works. Okay, so I think our nav is all working correctly. Let's just double check this sign up button. Enter. I think it's not going to take me to sign up. I think it's going to take me into the app because I'm logged in. Okay, yes. All right. All right. Okay, so we can tab to this button. Actually, this button kind of has the same issue where I think we are just using the browser default on our focus style, which in Google Chrome is this, kind of blue outline. And that works great in a lot of cases, but on a site where the whole design is blue, it doesn't really stand out. So we might want to take a look at maybe customizing that a little bit to make it more high contrast with the rest of the site. I think we could double check this, but I think that technically, if you are just using the browser default focus style, you don't actually have to worry about contrast issues on it. But I think it's not just Chrome. I think several browsers use blue by default. And users may not be aware that that's something that they can modify, and it might not be working very well for them. So let's go ahead and change the default color on that. And so the opposite of blue, if we look at a color wheel, is orange. So orange would be a super high contrast color with all of the blue design. So that's one option. We could also look at something like a bright pink I think I would stay away from something like red just because of the association a lot of users have between errors and red color. So when there's a lot of red in a design, sometimes that's really hard. And also, red green color blindness is relatively predominant, although that would probably still impact people's being able to perceive a pink color or orange color for that matter. Um, so I think if we can just come up with something that is and um, relatively contrasty with our dark blue buttons here. So I just want to apply this focus style. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the button does also change color when it receives focus, but it is pretty subtle. I don't think that's quite enough on its own. So we could let's try adding a style. Let's just try adding a whole style. Oops. Okay, let me try again. All right, I'll select everything and say focus. And we'll say outline. We'll say 2 pixels, solid orange. Let's see. Let's see how we feel about that. So the default orange, it does definitely stand out a little bit better in the design, but it is not super contrasty with the white background. I wonder if we could get a darker orange. Let's see, what are our options? HTML color names. Let's see, that orange is not a very dark orange, is it? Let's try coral. Let's take a look at what that might look like. Oops. Helps if you spell it correctly. All right. Oh, I think that's much better. I like that better. Okay, so I think we can always adjust this in certain, if there's certain areas of the page that might need something a little bit more or less contrasty, we can always customize it in different sections of the page. But I think this actually works pretty well on both the light and dark areas of the page. And it's a nice contrast to the rest of the site. So let's go ahead and set that for now. We could always come back and decide to do something a little bit different later. So I'm going to go ahead and set that here. I don't believe that that's something, and actually I'll do focus visible. I don't believe that that's something, 2 pixels solid coral. I don't believe that that's something that there's a setting in Elementor for. So I'll double check on that and make sure that that's the case. Okay, so that is now in there. Let's go ahead and hard refresh and take a look at how this is looking. Okay, nice coral outline on everything. Looking good. I do sometimes wish there was a little more space between that outline. So let me try an outline offset. Maybe we'll try 2 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, so it's a little bit it's not right up against the item that we're highlighting. All right, let's figure out what that coral. Let's go ahead and test this in a contrast checker. Well, didn't spell it correctly, but Google still knows what I meant. Okay. Okay, so when it is on a white background, that is not quite dark enough. So for focus, we want at least a 3:1. So let's actually bump that down so we get to that 3. And let's go ahead and use that hex code instead in our code. Okay, so just a little bit darker, but still the same color. And offset by 2 and a 2 pixel border. And I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure that that's going to be plenty of contrast on our like blue areas here, but let's just double check. On this dark blue background. Okay, so that's that color. Oh yeah, plenty of contrast there. Okay. Yeah, so that's a nice improvement, I think. Okay. Now, I think we were in the middle of testing keyboard functionality. Okay, so all these links look good. Register, register. Links to our help center. Okay, link to contact us is just a link. Okay, now we have this element. Let's see what we have going on here. So is that marked up as a button? So it looks like this is an Elementor element, and so we're probably going to have limited ability to make changes. Oh, that's right. We had already looked at this, and it's using a detail and summary. And it looks like I do have ARIA expanded and ARIA controls on that. Okay. One ARIA labeled by accordion 1350. Okay. We'd have to get out some screen reader to double check and make sure that that's all okay, but it generally actually looks like it's in reasonable shape. Accessibility wise, we have, oops, I completely lost it now. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. So we do have, oh my goodness, sorry. Trying to put the focus here. Okay, put focus here. There we go. Okay. So it is, okay. So I can use my arrow keys. I can use my spacebar to open and close it. There is a little bit of the, you can see that this focus is kind of going behind the next item in the list, which we could see if we could fix by maybe adjusting the Z index of the item that has focus. On the last one, it works because there's nothing after it to cover up part of the outline. But on the other ones, it's definitely getting hidden. So let's see if we can do something about that. Okay, and also it looks like aside from our outline, there's no hover styles on these. Oh my gosh. I'm having the worst time getting my focus where I want it on the page. Okay, if I do it at the bottom, it seems to work. There we go, focus visible. All right, let's see what we've got as a selector. I'm going to open this up a little bit. Oh, sorry, I'll make this a little bit bigger so it's a little easier to see on the live stream. All right. So you can see this orange dot here. So I have set focus visible to be on for that. And Elementor widget. Okay, so there's no focus styles in here already. And accordion item. Accordion item. Okay, I think we could probably take this selector and put this in here and say focus visible. Okay, this is definitely an experiment, but let's see what happens if we just modify that Z index a little bit once it has focus. I'm just trying to make it so that the one that has focus is on top of the others, if that makes sense. Let's see if that did it. It sure didn't. That didn't do anything. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's turn on focus visible. Okay, it is getting that style. Does it otherwise have a Z index? No? Okay. Oh, wait. Position relative. Okay, Z index should work if it's on position relative. Oh, wait. Wait, now it's working. I see the whole outline. Wait. Hold on. But when I was tabbing, oh, interesting. So when I turn on focus visible for this element, I can see the whole outline. But when I actually focus it with a keyboard, I can't. That's an interesting issue. Okay. Okay, so what else could we try? I might have to come back to this one and see what I can figure out with it. Okay, but we should get that fixed. Okay, let me go ahead and record an issue there just so that I don't forget. Okay, let's close this one and we'll go down to that area. And let's go ahead and record an issue on this summary element. And we will say focus development. There should be one in here for focus obscured. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, maybe I should just try obscured. Nope. Okay, maybe it's called something else. Unique element, skip link, cannot receive, keyboard is trapped. is a very long wording. That is direct from the WCAG guidelines, but I think we'll touch up the wording of that one so that it's a little bit more clear. And we can see the bottom border or the bottom outline of the focus indicator is obscured on these accordion elements. Okay, and that one I am going to assign to myself. Figure out what's going on there. It's a little bit of a tough one to fix. Okay. So assigned to me. Okay. All right, let's keep going through our page with the keyboard. Okay. All right, so we've got our sign up button. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. Okay. Oops, I think I moved focus when I did that. Okay, sign up button. We have this toggle. Okay, I can hit the enter key and toggle back and forth and access that content. I do see that we have a custom focus style there. You can see it does not use my new orange outline. I think that might be hard coded in some JavaScript. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out where that is. We can use our new orange or coral, I guess dark coral, because we had to make it a little bit darker. Okay, is it the label that gets focus? Oh, no. The checkbox. There it is. Okay. Let's take a look over here. What do we have for this focus style? I actually don't see anything. Let's see. No outline. Okay, I wonder if we're using focus within maybe on the parent. So let's try that out. Although, no, it triggered on focus here. Okay, let's not focus that. Okay, and it's still there. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be that focus within. It does seem to be this focus. But I'm confused at where that's coming from. Is it maybe the border? No, doesn't look like it's the border. Okay, well, let's jump over here. Let's take a look at, oh, I don't think it's in here in the JavaScript. I think it's in Elementor, if I remember correctly. Okay, what do we have here? Yeah, we don't have anything about pricing that's in here. Okay, so let me go ahead and record an issue on this, and we will come back and fix that right here. Okay, and I want focus. And there was one that was insufficient contrast. Do that one. Let's do this one. And we will see. Focus indicator is the same color as the control, which makes it difficult to see. Use the same dark coral color we've used on the rest of the site. Okay. And first I have to figure out where that's coming from, and then I will be able to fix it. Okay. All right, well, let's keep going through our page. Let me refresh because I have made a bunch of changes and things in that side. Okay. So contact us is a link. Doesn't look like a link though. So we should probably flag that as an issue. That's going to be just a style update, I think, in Elementor. So let's go ahead and record that issue. Oh, I see. It gets an underline. Looks like it gets an underline when we hover it. But of course, we should always be able to tell that that's a link. These failures from WCAG are a little wordy and a little bit difficult to understand. We're going to look at redoing those in Aardvark so that they are a little bit easier to use. So, color alone. I actually want to use a color failure here. Oops. Oh, I'm still my notes from last time. That's kind of funny. Okay. Goodness, I think I might need to refresh this page. I seem to have gotten it into a state. Here we go. Oh, that's in the image. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and save that one and just say like, we cannot tell this is a link until it is hovered. Add an underline that is always visible. Okay. Oh, solution is required. Additional text clues. Okay. Go ahead and do that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and refresh that. It's acting a little bit funky. All right, let's go ahead and keep going down our page. So, is this a link? Oh, it is a link to the home page. Okay. Should all be good. Okay, I think the rest of the home page is looking pretty good with just keyboard. All right, forms. I don't think we have any forms on here. I mean, this pricing is technically a checkbox, but we have tested that one. We can turn the checkbox on or off. And I don't even think there's a search. Yes, so we do have our Help Scout beacon, which is in here, and it does have some accessibility issues with it that we have identified. We reported them to Help Scout, and they actually fixed several of the issues that we had written into them about. There are still some more improvements that they can make. They are on their roadmap, but it is unfortunately not under our control when that happens. But I think most people should be able to use this form, and if they cannot, then we do have our contact form that is linked in several different places, including right here. And that form is fully accessible. All right, let's go ahead and see what the next thing is that we'll test. So check for moving, flashing, or blinking. I am 99.9% sure that we don't have anything moving, flashing, or blinking on the page. So let me just real quick scroll down. I don't think so, for the very reason that it is very difficult if you have something that moves or an audio that plays or a video that plays by default. It is difficult to make that accessible and generally a bad idea. Okay. We have no multimedia on this page. We just have some images, and we've already identified some that we might want to go back and double check. Okay, so I think we have, let me go ahead and check in this code fix that I did for this JavaScript, or I'm sorry, this CSS to add a more visible focus style. Oh, let me take out this code that didn't work. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. That didn't work. We don't want to check that in. Okay, but we did do this much more visible focus. So let's all right. So we got that checked in. So as soon as I am off the stream, I will go ahead and push that to production, and we will see those fixes show up immediately. The other fixes that we created issues for inside of Aardvark, we'll get those addressed as soon as we can. And I think next time on the stream, we'll dive into one of the other pages of the site. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that it was helpful to see me go through and test a page. We did not test everything. That was not a comprehensive test of everything on the home page. There are still some more things that we could look at. For example, we could look at the actual text content, make sure that it is easy and straightforward to understand. It doesn't require too high of a reading level, and a few other things that we could definitely go through and check. But we should be in much better shape, and we have definitely gotten rid of that terrible keyboard trap issue with the skip to help link in the header of the page. So we're in much better shape as soon as I push this to the live site, and we will keep going, keep checking the rest of the site as we continue to make changes on it and update the site. We'll keep checking for more and more accessibility issues and make sure that we're getting those fixed. Thank you for joining me today, and I will announce when we are going to be doing the next live stream, tackling more accessibility issues on the Aardvark marketing website. So just keep an eye out for announcements of that. If you could, please go and follow Aardvark on LinkedIn so that I can do the stream from our Aardvark page. So you have to have 150 followers on an Aardvark page, or on a LinkedIn page rather, before you can live stream from the page. So I have to do the stream today from my personal profile, but we could be able to do that directly from our Aardvark page. And I'd love to be able to do that. We were at 39 followers on that page this morning. So if you could go follow that, it would be great to be able to do the streams from that profile over there. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me.